Absolutely, without question. We've had many conversations at this table. Bill Maher ticked down some examples. But so what? And what?
Never Trumper SE Cupp and Jennifer Welch from the I Had It podcast teamed up to call out Donald Trump's authoritarian behavior on Abby Phillips' CNN show. We're going to watch some of the biggest moments from this panel, featuring SE Cupp, Jennifer Welch, and of course, MAGA loyalist Scott Jennings, who was there trying to defend it all. I've got plenty of thoughts to share along the way as well, so let's dive in and watch it together.
Democrats who have been at this level, if this is a 10, they've been at a 10 for a while now. But there are some people, and I think one of them is the person that Ezra Klein was talking to in that podcast, Radley Balco, and even President Obama, who have been kind of reluctant to go there. But they're going there now. I mean, do you see that shift happening?
Definitely. It's definitely happening. You see complete moral collapse of the United States government. The cabinet meeting with 3.5 hours of superficial praise is so cringeworthy. He's attacking the Fed. He's attacking all of our institutions. He's eliminating FEMA. It is horrifying that he is putting troops against American citizens because he claims that he's the law and order president. But we all know that's a lie because he's a convicted felon. He pardons convicted felons. He surrounds himself with obsequious people that kiss his ass all day, every day. It's nauseating and painful to see how weak he is to Vladimir Putin and others.
I mean, what do you think about all of this? I mean, a lot of people say that alarmism doesn't help Democrats, but there are also things happening that Trump is doing that are alarming even conservatives.
Well, alarmism alone doesn't do anything. And I think Democrats have gotten very good at correctly identifying the problem, naming the problem, whether it's fascism or authoritarianism. This is all true.
Do you think that's an accurate description of what is happening right now?
Absolutely, without question. We've had many conversations at this table. Bill Maher ticked down some examples. But so what? And what? And what next? The conversations I don't hear Democrats having is what we're going to do about it. It can't just be Gavin Newsom tweeting like the president does. That's not it. It can't be sit-ins and protests. If Democrats want to combat this and get a chance at another election, and I understand where Bill Maher is going with this, that like elections might not happen in future years if this continues. They've got to win. They've got to win elections. And no one in the party, and I talk to Democrats all day long, no one is talking about where's our agenda? Where's our New Deal, our contract with America? What's our platform to identify and solve the problems that Americans are screaming they have? Only Trump is saying, here's my answer for them. We don't like the answers, but he's answering them. Democrats aren't even asking the question. They're just naming the problem over and over again in an echo chamber.
I make an argument that
I think SE Cupp is absolutely right here. I honestly don't understand why Democrats aren't putting up billboards and running more advertisements. I mean, I hardly ever see any ads from Democrats on YouTube. Do you? I don't get why they aren't launching ad campaigns and placing billboards all across the country with nothing more than Donald Trump's picture and a simple message saying, I don't care about Americans' finances. Donald Trump practically writes those ads himself. I just don't understand why they're not pushing back and fighting harder right now.
an unreasonable thing to do, because there are some people who are, I think the analogy is like a frog boiling slowly in water, that you don't really notice what's happening until it's...
Oh, we all notice it. Who's not noticing it?
Some people,
everyone notices it.
A couple people at the table here probably disagree, so we'll...
But I'm not talking to them, I'm talking to Democrats. They all notice it.
In just a second, but go ahead, Dante.
Democrats is, how do you attack it? Because Donald Trump does not operate politically. He does not operate within the structure of our government as it was put together and as it functioned for hundreds of years. He operates outside of that.
But
so
are there
asking
other options than attacking Donald Trump?
Not be political, to step aside and say, I'm going to ignore the rule of law. I'm going to tell people if a judge rules against me that judge is a bad person and not to listen to him. I don't know if we want Democrats to join in that fight, but there has to be a way to combat it.
No one's saying that, but for 3 election cycles, the Democratic plan seems to have been let Trump hang himself and go after Trump. This isn't about Trump. The voters need to be talked to in ways that aren't Democrats sneering at them, saying, you're safe, look at this graph. The economy's great, look at these numbers.
That may be
but that's exactly what Democrats are doing. They're doing it with illegal immigrants, they're doing it with crime, and they're doing it with the government. You said it's the way government functions. A supermajority of the American people say government is dysfunctional. They don't trust government. Go back to the Ike LBJ days, and trust in government was in the 70s. Today,
trust in government.
Back then, trust in the government was in the 70% range because people actually had a government that delivered for its citizens. This guy here, Pete C., seems to miss that point completely. Those administrations focused on providing real benefits to the American people. Unlike Donald Trump's government, which has spent so much of its time taking things away, punishing people, targeting immigrants, and blaming everything on trans athletes and whatever else fits the narrative. The Eisenhower administration, the LBJ administration, and the FDR administration all enjoyed strong approval ratings because they actually worked to improve people's lives. But this goofball, Pete C., is against all of that. He doesn't seem to want the government doing anything to help its own people.
It's in the 30s. The low water mark, and I think it's delicious that Barack Obama is weighing in, the low water mark during the era was 10% when Barack Obama was president. Only 10% of Americans trusted government. That's what propelled Donald Trump into the White House. He's being responsive to the problems that Americans are facing.
You can't trust government.
And he's enforcing the laws that are on the books.
We can talk
Putting
about
troops
those
in
numbers.
Washington is the law.
You can't trust government when they call in Republican leaders from Indiana and say, hey, you have to figure out a way to redistrict so that we can get more seats. That's not how government is supposed to work.
And is 100% legal in the state of Indiana. You can do that. There's no prohibition. Now, whether they will do it or not,
I think this is a very key point that you just brought up. I mean, whether it's Indiana or anything else that Trump is doing, D.C., lots of things are permissible. But many presidents, many political figures before Trump did not do them because in this country, you have choices here, right? There are laws on the books that allow you to do certain things. And many politicians say, we're not going to go there because, let's say, hypothetically, that's reserved for extreme circumstances. I think what people are responding to right now is Trump looking at all those things and saying, I'm going to do what, as he said, whatever I want, if there's any inkling of a chance that I have the power to do it.
Well, he is exercising political power, and as Pete pointed out about the redistricting, it is legal to do. I think the National Guard in Washington, D.C. not only is legal, but I think even the mayor of Washington, D.C. this week has said, hey, it seems to be working. So I think the alarmism from Trump's biggest detractors is the same kind of rhetoric and alarmism that they were sounding back in September and October during the election. And how did the American people respond to it then? They voted for Donald Trump. The way you solve all problems in a political system is you go out and try to win an election.
Yeah.
But you can't do redistricting and changing the rules so that
sure you can.
He doesn't want to run another election.
Democrats did not win the last election for a reason. They may not win the next one for a reason. And so in a political system, you have to trust the voters. The voters elected Donald Trump. He's basically running the play that he laid out. And yes, I understand the whining and alarmism now, but the way you solve all your problems in politics is to convince people that you are right and they are wrong, and you do it at the ballot box.
So to sum it up, I agree with SE Cupp. I agree with Jennifer Welch. And I think anyone looking at this objectively, which basically means anyone outside the MAGA bubble, can see why they describe Donald Trump as a fascist, or at least someone with authoritarian instincts. Whether you agree with that label or not, the bigger point is that Democrats need to start fighting now. People will say they aren't in power, and that's true, but they can still run ad campaigns. I barely see any advertising from the Democratic Party. Meanwhile, I constantly get ads from conservatives and far-right groups on YouTube. With the midterms only a few months away, I don't understand why they aren't running ads around the clock using Donald Trump's own words. Just take his direct quote, "I don't think about Americans' finances," and put it on a billboard or in a commercial. You don't even have to come up with the message because Donald Trump already did that for you. But as SE Cupp pointed out to Abby Phillip, their strategy still